YouTube Let's Play. It's the guy that plays Marvel Snap occasionally, along with a lot of other things. And today I wanted to go over the patch notes for Marvel Snap for the first time quickly and just give my general thoughts on them. Because, you know, I always wanted to do it ever since I got into the creator program. And I thought, why not give it a shot? Now, I'll say I'm not the most knowledgeable in the world of Snap, but I have opinions and I'll just spew them out on the internet like most people do and just let them sit in the void. So let's go over the patch notes. I looked at this a little bit here and there earlier, so I do have some knowledge. But first thing is first, right here, this patch notes right here, if you don't want to read all this, you can look at what your opponent has discarded and destroyed along with yourself, so you can see what cards you've discarded or destroyed. If you have something like untap.gg, you can already do this, which I think is pretty fantastic. Untap.gg is a great little desktop app that you have right here. You can shows you your entire deck, shows your opponent deck, which is really good on Conquest if you like playing Conquest. But overall, I think this graveyard feature is very good. And cards like Wolverine, Sabretooth, and Deadpool would not be showed. So that's a step in the right direction, definitely. Makes untap.gg a little less valuable, but you can still see your entire deck, which I don't think they're going to add that feature yet. They're just trying to have you memorize it, but that's nice. This one right here is probably the most important thing for me. If you guys watch me play Marvel Snap a lot on Twitch or on this channel, you will know I hit end turn way too fast, and this new change, as long as your opponent hasn't ended their turn, you can go back to the stage and step. Oh, what a blessing. What a blessing. Also, don't mind me using this PDF reader. It's the only free one I could find. But this is a blessing. The undo end turn. Chef's kiss. Trust me, this is official. I got it from the Snap Creator Discord. Custom borders. This is something I don't really care too much about this. Someone in my chat actually asked if this was coming because they know I can see stuff, and I obviously couldn't say anything. But the custom border allows you to combine your favorite owned variant art in any border, rarity, and finish/flare combo you own for that variant to make the most stylish card. Custom border appears at the top of your card variant list. Add them to your deck and set them as your favorite to add to future decks easily. Complete 3 total infinity splits to unlock the custom border feature. After that, any card with at least 1 infinity split has the feature available. Stay tuned for more updates to this feature in the future. That, I feel, is pretty easy to get, infinity splits. If you just play the game a little bit, you will get those. And if you care about custom borders, you will probably have infinity splits quite fast because, you know, that's where all the good stuff happens. I don't have an inked or a gold card, and I'm collection level like 4,100 because I just upgrade everything. I got some nice little flares to add to my deck. But for people that have a lot of custom stuff, you know, the gold and inked, this is a nice little cosmetic change. I think that's nice. What they need to add next, personally, I think this would be great because I love a lot of my variants, is having you favorite multiple cards at once. Overwatch does this with their skins, I know, because I used to play Overwatch. If you have multiple favorites at once, you just get a random one every single game. Like, if you got, like, 4 different favorites, it just cycles through them or just gives you a random of those 4. I think that would be a pretty cool addition if they ever added something like that. Maybe that's next on the list. I hope so. I tell you, I hand to God, I don't know if that's coming, but that would be sick. This is something I was unsure about because it's a gold pass. Looking for some extra gold throughout the season, purchasing a gold pass will give an initial recharge of gold and then additional amount of gold every day for the next 30 days. How much gold are we talking here for this gold pass? Because you can't buy the battle pass with gold, which I'm not a big fan of because I play the game enough. You should at least reward me and save me $10 every month because, fucking Christ, $10 every month? These seasons are quick. And my partner just got addicted to Marvel Snap too, so it's $20 every month because we share a bank account. But the gold pass, I'm curious to see how much gold it gives. Overall, this could be cool for people that really like buying variants. The gold bundles seem to be non-existent nowadays, so I just buy variants with the gold. So, I mean, this could be cool. Several older cards now have visual effects which I think is cool. Deadpool, Psylocke, Legion, Darkhawk, Moon Girl. That's pretty cool. If you don't know what visual effects are, it's like what they added to the Winter Soldier. When they get into play, they have some boo, some shabazz, some shebang into it. I think that's cool. I think all these cards having visual effects are great. And just like visual effects, a lot of cards now have audio effects as well. Basically, all of the exact same cards have audio effects as well. Wait, several older cards now have sound effects? Oh, these are the sound effects. Several older cards now have voice-over dialogue. Deadpool and Moon Girl, I hope they somehow got Ryan Reynolds for the Deadpool. You kill him, he's just like, oh, why'd you do that? Oh, come on, man. That wasn't very nice. All right, balance updates. Here's the big stuff that people come for. Balance updates. Elsa Bloodstone. After you play a card here, give it +2 power if your side is full. New. That's the old one. Each card you play to fill your side of a location gains +2 power. Basically, they just reverted Elsa. They brought her back to what she was originally, which I'm kind of a fan of, but that kind of shuts down the Kitty Pryde plays that you would do with Elsa, but it still kind of makes it viable if Kitty Pryde's filling a location, which would give you a very strong Kitty Pryde, even with like an Angela combo. So Elsa still works well with Angela, if not better now with Angela, but she's a 3/3, which is still kind of fine. You can still work with that. Similar to our notes around Luke Cage last month, we've decided we took the wrong tactic with Elsa Bloodstone. Our rebalance to keep this effect local aim to maintain Elsa's strength as a 2-cost build around, but the numbers necessary to make that work don't line up with our goals. So we're shifting Elsa up in the cost 3/3 and widening the effect to all locations once again. We're also restoring the previous functionality so that Elsa applies the power buff before on reveal resolve, rather than after. We've decided to accept that both versions have some potential to be confusing, but the original execution seems to have more clearly lined up with players' expectations and existing content than our revision. Elsa will once more be able to buff cards like Beast and unable to buff Brood. Okay, so she can't buff Brood, but she can buff Beast because it goes before the on reveal happens. That's fine. So if you play Brood to fill a location, that Brood will not get power because you didn't play the card. It just filled it. Miek, the card I do not have. After each turn, if you discarded one or more cards, gain that much power and move. I still don't understand that. When you discard a card, this gains +1 power and can move next turn. That makes more sense. The general direction of Meek was on the right track, but our execution fell short. In particular, interactions with Invisible Woman, Dracula, and Black Cat crossed our bar for frustrating and non-intuitive for many players. Meek still gains just as much power, counting cards discarded one at a time or in bulk, but that power will now be added immediately. We've also removed the randomization from Meek's move, giving players this option to make a move during the following turn if any cards were discarded. His cost is still the same. I think he's a 1-cost 2 power, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's a bigger change than people will give it credit. I kind of wish I had Meek now for a discard deck because you control where he moves. Sorry, that's my stool. You control where he moves, which I think is a fantastic buff to make him more viable. Because I've won a few games from people having Meek just go to the wrong location at the end of the game. And I think that's a good change for Meek. Mantis. They changed Mantis. Ooh. On reveal, if your opponent played any cards here, turn, you draw a card from the deck. Yeah, we all know Mantis. She's like a Series 1 card. We all have her. New. She's a 2/2, loses a power, but on reveal, if your opponent played any cards here this turn, copy one of them into your hand. Immediately off the rip, that is great for Deadpool, Nulls, Venoms. Good against Destroy, I feel like. Maybe even Darkhawk. That's a very powerful card. That is actually kind of good. Like, ooh, Mantis. Our efforts to differentiate low-cost generation have mostly gone well, but Mantis and Cable both came up quite short. We've waited to adjust them further because ultimately we felt Mantis simply needed a rework in order to find a functional home. This design shifts Mantis's thievery from the deck to copying cards at a location. That can be a lot more powerful if you time it right, because the copy will retain any buffs. Does retain the buffs. I assumed it retained the buffs. I read this last night. I knew it retained the buffs. Venom in particular comes to mind as a very powerful card. We'll keep an eye on. Oh, okay. I like that change. I think that's a good. She loses a power, but in return, she can give you so much more power if you play it right. It might be a good card to just have with you, just in case. Cable. He got changed as well. On reveal, draw a card from your opponent's deck. Stays the same, but he's a 2-3 instead of a 3-4. Just bump it down by 1. Not bad. With Mantis changing to no longer copying from the deck, this creates room for Cable to move back down to a 2 cost with a buff from his original 2-2 to boot. Not bad. I think that can benefit the collector decks a lot more. Turn 6, you can play White Queen and Cable if you want to copy 2 cards into your hand, or, you know. I think that's a nice little change for Cable. Nice little change. Time Stone. On reveal, +1 energy. Next turn, draw a card. New. On reveal, draw a card and give it -1 cost. So it still kind of has the exact same benefit. You save an energy, or you gain it. You save an energy this time instead of gaining one. But that can be really good if you pull like a 6 cost. Thanos has proven that combining the toolbox abilities of the Infinity Stones with a potent set of endgame cards consistently creates a powerful deck. After Blob Winter, God, what a horrible time, we started looking more closely into exactly how the deck ticks and which part of it are concerned. And I like that they acknowledge when cards are just like, okay, yeah, we get it. That sucked. Time Stone really stood out as a warping presence in the deck with its ability to often capitalize on strong 5 and 6 cost plays. We've decided to weaken that angle considerably in the interest of future-facing metagame diversity, so that Thanos isn't that default best way to ramp out of those kinds of cards. This change is expected to do some damage to Thanos, but the last few seasons were very good for the Mad Titan, so a little break isn't so bad. Once we see how this change affects Thanos' decks, we'll look for the right spot to add back some of the strength we took away in previous bounce patches. Perhaps Soulstone took the heat for Time Stone too early. Freaking Soulstone making everybody lose power. I hate that one the most. Interesting change. They're switching up Thanos' utility. Oh my god, they changed M'Baku. This is the greatest day in the world. If this is in your deck at the end of the game, jumps to a location. At the end of the game, this jumps from your deck to your lowest power location that is in full. So if you don't understand what that means, he still has to be in your deck. M'Baku still has to be in your deck. And yeah, M'Baku has always been more meme than dream, which is a fine position for some cards to maintain. It's pretty fun to watch M'Baku do the thing. However, it's been clear for a while that M'Baku's strength was languishing. We decided to give the jump trigger the same target and effect seen on Proxima Midnight, aiming for a location where you're more likely to need help. There will always be corner cases with cards triggered in the endgame, such as Dracula and Captain Marvel, but we believe this is overall positive. However, M'Baku may be found drinking at the bar with no name a bit more often. The bar with no name. Honestly, that's a funny change. I'm glad. I like that they even they even acknowledge M'Baku is a meme. Yondu. Ooh, changing Yondu up. On reveal, destroy the top card of your opponent's deck. It's new on reveal. Destroy the lowest cost card. Ooh, he won't be destroying 6 costs anymore. I feel like that's a nerf. Back in the old days, Yondu was a frequent player in destroy decks thanks to his trigger, helping to discount death while powering up Null and providing some information. However, recent competition has almost universally left Yondu on the outside, looking in as players grow their collection and include stronger synergy elements. This small change aims to give Yondu some new potential to function with cards like Cable and others in the near future. That aim to steal cards from your opponent's deck, improving the quality of cards stolen by destroying the duds ahead of time. Given the existing effect was already insufficient for Null to notice, this potential outweighed that consideration. Oh, Leech! I think I said it was a nerf, but it might be too early to tell, like they said. I'm not the best with finding the best synergies, but I know there's a lot of incredible Marvel Snap creators and players out there that find synergies the wackiest ways. So it'll be interesting to see what synergies get made with this Yondu card. Destroy the weakest card, and then if you steal one of their cards, it's like, oh, I'm not getting the weakest card. I'm getting something better. But if they're playing Zoo, you're probably getting another 1 cost. But interesting change. That would screw me up a lot because I play a lot of decks that have 2 and 3 costs be the lowest cost cards. So that will mess me up quite a bit with some decks. Leech. Start a turn 6, remove all abilities from your opponent's hand. On reveal, remove the text from each card with an on reveal ability in your opponent's hand. So, Leech will still be super annoying, but they did change him down to be now just on reveal. So only your on reveal cards will get affected, which I think is really good. He won't be powering up Infinauts anymore. Thank God. because every time I play Leech, Infinauts get powered up immediately. We're aware that Leech is among the least beloved cards in Snap on any given week. However, Leech has served an important role for over a year, ensuring that there was some meaningful check for the various shenanigans players could get up to during the end game. In that time, we've also made a concerted effort to design more specific disruption at better rates, such as Echo, Mobius, Shadow King, Kyura, Supergiant, and even a few more cards you'll see very soon. Thanks to those additions, we're ready to try restricting Leech to affect a narrower band of cards. We'd like to make sure Leech continues to play some kind of a role, so we chose to affect one of the bands he most consistently targeted already on reveal cards like Shang-Chi and Legion that tended to steal the game on the final turn. Good change. Interested to see what will happen. Any nerf to Leech is a good nerf, so thank God. I hate Leech. And they know everyone hates Leech. Location updates. As we add new locations to the game, so that's all the balance changes to cards. Periodically, we need to review them to reevaluate the total impact they're having on the metagame. After conducting that review, we've increased the rarity of several locations, which means you see them slightly less. Our motivations for doing so primarily centered around reducing how often locations add extra cards to the game, as well as balancing for locations that boost specific art types like Destroy. So the locations that we will not see as often, I'll try to say what the location did if I can remember, but there's a lot of locations in the game. I don't memorize all of them. Camp Leia, I'm pretty sure Camp Leia gives you a random 3-cost card. Collapsed Mind, I think, gives you Vibranium if you play there. Great Portal gives you a random 6-power cost. Hotel Inferno, I can't remember what Hotel Inferno does. Shiri's Lab doubles all your cards. Lamentus, I think, destroys all your cards and draws 3 cards and destroys your deck, I'm pretty sure. Nor Dimension gives you the Djinns, which gives you the extra energy. Rickety Bridge, I just played Rickety Bridge twice this morning when I did a video. Rickety Bridge destroys all the cards if there's more than one there. Superflow gives you 1 energy for the winning player, I think. Oh, no, Superflow gives you 1 energy if you don't have a card there, I'm pretty sure. The Abbey. Oh, why am I blanking on the Abbey? I'm blanking on the Abbey. Valley of the Hand, blanking on the hand. We've also lined up all of our locations with cards that trigger after the turn to use the exact same window. This inconsistently previously made a variety of outcomes unpredictable, even while resolving locations from left to right. The affected locations that were previously triggering late, so these are triggering now, I think before on reveal. We have Asgard, Attilian, Bifrost, Collapsed Mine, Eternity Range. So Collapsed Mine, you get Vibranium before your on reveal happens. Ooh, that's not good for Iron Lad. Eternity Range, Gamma Lab, that's the Hulk. So turn 3, cards are just going to turn into Hulk before the on reveal? Is that what's being said? Gamma Lab, Grand Central. Grand Central is the one that throws a card in. Hala, Clintar, Los Diablos, Murder World, Oscorp Tower, Rickety Bridge. So they don't trigger after the turn anymore. Rickety Bridge, Strange Academy, TVA, X-Mansion. TVA, I don't know. X-Mansion plays a random card for you. TVA, turn 4. Can't remember Strange Academy 100%. Oscorp Tower, switch cards. Murder World, I think, is draw 3 cards, kill all the decks. While this shift makes the entirety of the game more consistent, it is a meaningful functional change for cards that gain power after the turn, such as Sunspot. This is because our default trigger order is locations cards, so Sunspot's power gain won't help you win Asgard anymore, for example. It's a potential consideration for us to reverse that trigger card, and we're investigating it internally. That would be a large chance, because we'd make it for every trigger to maintain consistently. Last but not least, we've mined Subterra a little bit and reduced the number of rocks it shuffles into your deck from 5 to 4. Thank God, dude. Every time I get Subterranean, I get 5 goddamn rocks in a row, it feels like. Good change. Small change, but good change. 4 rocks instead of 5. Now I can get 4 rocks in a row instead of 5. Bug fixes. Card logic fixes in 25.x. Addressed an issue that was causing turn timers to be reduced even when Agatha was no longer in their hand. Fixed an issue where Omega Red wouldn't recheck power values after the game ended. Ooh, that was kind of big. Absorbent Man should now properly copy Nico's current spell rather than her original ability text. Oh, nice. Super Giant's VFX should no longer be active when their ability has been disabled. Nico should no longer play incorrectly when she's returned to hand and then replayed. Fixed an issue that caused Nico to spell VFX to scale incorrectly when she returned to hand. X23 should no longer show VFX for +2 energy granted. I've been seeing that for a while. That was kind of annoying. Echo's VFX should no longer activate when hovering your own ongoing cards over her location. Cosmo should update appropriately if Cosmo moves to a different location. Fix an issue where Djinns granted by Nor Dimension when played would see their SFX fall. Other fixes resolved an issue was causing the collection tab to show cards in a single file column when going from albums to the cards tab. Album rewards claimed in a previous client version should no longer appear in claimable in the new client version. Fixed the UI issue that would cause the hold to confirm text to persist on screen when equipping cosmetic selections to all decks. Kind of annoying. Corrected the text string for daily offer shop refresh time and no longer say mission refill. Addressed a number of localization issues for daily login bonus across all languages. Cleaned up some font sizing. Cool. The make me a deck icon should no longer clip through. Okay. Mystery Series 3 item in the token shop should now correctly display its title and description. Nice. Existing known issues after upgrading the client, players may see albums display as unavailable or locked. This can be resolved by relaunching the app. Spider hams VFX can occasionally cause an snap to occur. What? The text string for the Mystery Series 3 card in the token shop isn't localized for all languages. Some visual artifacts may occur when upgrading cards in post-match. The edit deck button collider when selecting a deck isn't large enough to make the right side not responsive. Occasionally, cards drawn from the Mind Stone will flicker briefly in hand. Spotlight Cache Preview Assists are occasionally fail to load on the main menu carousel. Yep, the Infinity Split prompt extends out of frame in Japanese. The currently selected deck may not always be in the deck. Okay. Known issues list. There's a lot of known issues. I don't think I want to read through all these known issues that they're going to try to change, but there's a lot of issues. It's good to see they're aware of a lot of issues with the game, and overall, I think this is a pretty good patch. The new cards coming out with this, I think it's Mockingbird coming out, Man Thing, and then I can't remember if it's like Kitty Pryde or I think it could be Spider Gwen coming out with it as well. That'd be pretty fun. Overall, nice little balance change. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did enjoy this, let me know. I'll try to do it with every OTA that they make. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys.